Hi, this is Jamie Brabston, Director and Senior Legal Consultant with Redstone Government Consulting, where I focus on employment law compliance and assisting contractors with the regulations covered by Department of Labor. Today I'm going to address the status of the various vaccine mandates with a primary focus on Executive Order 14042, which was issued by the Biden administration last September. And among other things, it mandates COVID vaccines for most employees of most federal contractors. What a roller coaster we've been on since then. Much confusion arose immediately after the mandate was issued, followed by several guidance documents issued by the Safer Federal Workforce Task Force, attempting to clarify many questions that contractors had upon reading the executive order. After these guidance documents were issued, some confusion did remain, but most contractors covered by Executive Order 14042 began to put into place policies and procedures to ensure compliance with the deadlines for vaccination and other requirements of the mandate. About those deadlines, they also changed several times along the way. And when I say we've been on a roller coaster, I am not exaggerating. The legal challenges began quickly after that executive order was issued in September. And as of right now, the federal contractor vaccine mandate has been enjoined. So backing up a little bit, on December 7th, 2021, the contractor vaccine was halted pursuant to a nationwide injunction issued by the United States District Court for the Southern District of Georgia. This preliminary injunction ordered the federal government to temporarily stop enforcement of this vaccine mandate for federal contractors. Of course, this ruling was appealed by the Biden administration and is currently pending before the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. For now, though, we need to think about what is still in effect. The language of the injunction insinuates that the only thing enjoined or temporarily stopped is the actual mandate for vaccinations. Accordingly, contractors who have already accepted that FAR deviation clause may still be subject to the other requirements of Executive Order 14042, such as masking and social distancing. In addition, of course, employers may still choose to adopt voluntary vaccine mandates, but please be mindful that some states, in fact many states and localities, have issued their own laws either limiting or banning vaccine mandates. So be sure that you check these laws in the jurisdictions in which you have employees. So again, what is in effect right now and what is not in effect? So the January 18th, 2022 deadline for full vaccination is not in effect. The requirement for masking and social distancing is in effect, and covered contractors are still required to designate a person or persons to coordinate their COVID-19 safety efforts at covered contractor workplaces, and that's just a good idea anyway. So, as I mentioned, the Biden administration has appealed this injunction to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and a briefing schedule has been set. The Biden administration asked the 11th Circuit to dissolve the injunction, but that request was denied. So, the 11th Circuit issued an expedited briefing schedule, but even though it's expedited, the final briefs are not due until February 22nd, more than a month after that January 18th full vaccination deadline that we thought was going to be in place. So for now, the vaccination portion of Executive Order 14042 is still on hold. To add more confusion to this roller coaster ride, or perhaps excitement according to how you look at things, everyone has been trying to figure out the status of the vaccine or test mandate issued by OSHA. As of the date of this recording, which is January 13, 2022, the United States Supreme Court literally just issued today a ruling on the appeals before them regarding the OSHA test or vaccine mandate. Supreme Court ruled that the stay would be put back into place. So the OSHA emergency temporary standard is now under a nationwide injunction. There could be further disposition based on petitions that are still pending in the Sixth Circuit, but I'm not going to get into the legal weeds of all that. Just know that for now, the OSHA emergency temporary standard is no longer in effect. And that's important for contractors as well, because if the contractor mandate were not reinstated after the appeal to the 11th Circuit, but the OSHA emergency temporary standard did remain in effect, then contractors with employees, with 100 or more employees, would be subject to the OSHA ETS. So right now, neither of those rules is in effect. Now, interestingly, today, the Supreme Court also ruled on the state of the CMS covered facilities, the vaccine mandate that applies to healthcare workers there, and they ruled it could go forward. So you'll see the Supreme Court did view these mandates quite differently. And although neither of these cases specifically address the contractor mandate, we believe these rulings provide some insight on how the High Court would potentially rule in the event that the challenges to the contractor mandate make it all the way up to the Supreme Court as well. So let's back up a minute. What if the stay on the contractor mandate is lifted by the 11th Circuit, like the one was by the Supreme Court for the CMS mandate? What does this mean? Well, it means we're back where we were prior to the injunction. Covered contractors need to fully comply with Executive Order 14042 and all of the guidance that has been issued by the Safer Federal Workforce Task Force. So what should employers do while we wait? Of course, making reasonable good faith efforts is always your best bet. Ensure you do have someone in charge of keeping up with the safety protocols, which means checking and following those CDC recommendations that are also constantly changing for masking and social distancing, and perhaps testing as well based on the protocols set by your government customers. Quick comment, don't forget about offering employees the opportunity to request an exemption. So if you are or you have gone ahead with a mandate for vaccinations, the Executive Order 14042, as well as the OSHA rule, and just because of the law in general for the Americans with Disabilities Act and Title VII protections on religious beliefs, you need to ensure that you do have that process in place where you've advised employees they have the opportunity to request an accommodation based on a medical condition or a sincerely held religious belief that would potentially allow them to be exempt from the vaccination requirements. So don't forget you have those laws that you must comply with as well. So round and round we go. Where we end up, who knows? Make sure you stay subscribed to our newsletters and alerts and follow us on LinkedIn, because we are staying apprised of all of the details related to the challenges and what may come out next.